Okay, we have to check the water temperature. Got this temperature gauge, and the water temperature is supposed to be at 147.5 degrees is perfect. Anywhere between 145 and 150 is good. Come over and see this temperature. Can you see it? Okay, that is too hot by a few degrees, almost 160. It will be okay, but I'll cool it off with just a little burst of cool water. First I have to turn the water on. Okay, so I'll take it and I'll and then check it again. It stirs it up pretty good. Water temp probably be real close to 155 or so at this point, which would be okay. Yeah, good. It's just a little bit below 150. Perfect. Okay. Then the next thing to do is take the birds. And bring them over to the scalder. A little tray here. Just lay it right there. Sometimes when you kill them, they'll poop, like that one did. You just have to shake it out. Then you dip it into the scalder. You can hold it up so you can see. And I take it and I keep it all the way under and I shake its feet to kind of get it all wet. I want the whole thing to get wet and hot. And it takes anywhere from 10 to 15 seconds for it to be enough. You don't want to scald it too much or the skin will come off. You test it by pulling on the pin feathers. If they don't pop out pretty easily, you go back in again and do it again. Make sure it's good and hot all over. Get every bit of the feathers done. Lift it up, check the pin feathers. Look at that, they popped right out. See that? So that one is ready. I'll lay it right here and take the next one. And you can see where it pooped a little bit. Okay, so I'll clean that off a little. Take it in, dip it in, scalder, push it down, shake the...
Pull the pin feathers from the other side this time so I can see it. It's hard because your arm is in the way. You're pulling it from that side.
Is this okay?
Use this hand because I couldn't see.
Oh, this hand right here, like this?
Feathers.
Oh, use this hand to pull the pin feathers.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha. Okay. All right, now check it out by checking the pin feathers right in here. You can see I'm gonna pull. If they don't come out real, that started to come out pretty good. But I'll go ahead and dip it one more time, just for good measure, and that should be good. Okay, now we take them over to the plucker. Get the hose ready in hand, and go ahead and turn on the machine. So it's spinning around, ready to go. Alright, now all you have to do is just drop them in, like so, with the water going. So I turn the water on, there they go. Turn it off. You lift the bird out. There we go. Maybe just a couple of little feathers left, but look at that, clean as a whistle. All right. Now we bring our plucked birds over to the table. Got our scissors and some knife assortment here, and underneath is a sharpener so I can sharpen the knives all the time as we're going. You can see the feet there. Okay, so now
You want to show them the organ bucket?
here's a organ bucket with a neck in it. And this is where the viscera goes and the other stuff that is waste. So I take the feet, cut right behind the joint, rock it around. That's one. Bend the elbow again. There's two. 3, 4. Okay, now I'll go ahead and take the heads off with the scissors, just kind of right behind where it was cut. Cut those off, throw them in the little garbage thing there. Cut those off, throw them in the garbage. Now I'm going to take their tails, piece of the bladder, a piece of the colon is coming out of his vent right there. I'm going to take the tails, like this little knife for it. We'll sharpen it.
It's the first time I've seen that. There.
Okay, yeah, I've seen it a couple times.
This one's coming out.
All right, so then right above the tail, you'll see the little, this is the oil gland. I'm going to cut down into that and then cross. This is only, it's not really even necessary, but it sometimes affects the flavor. At least that's what Joel Salatin said, so that's why we're doing it. Get all that out, okay? Next one.
That's what I was asking about. I couldn't remember what it was. It's right
Called
on
the
top of
oil
tail.
gland.
Right on top of the tail.
Top of the tail, that's right. I cut that too deep. I should have just nicked it off.
Thanks.
Okay, now, it's okay, it won't hurt anything. But now, since this one, well, let's do one that doesn't have that hanging out. That's a piece of colon right there. So, about 1 inch above the vent, you take a pinch and cut up. Don't cut down, you'll cut the bowel. Cut up, just a little slice until you got a hole. There's a hole right there. It's about 3 layers thick. There's skin, there's another thing, and a fatty layer. Get your finger in there, pull, and you want to tear it open just enough to get your hand in. So now, I lift this up and I put, all this viscera connects the organs to the walls of the inside of the bird. It's got little blood vessels and all kinds of things running in there. So I'm going to put my hand in there and try to scrape around and loosen that from the wall of the cavity inside. Try not to destroy the liver. It's the most fragile of the viscera. And then you get a kind of grip on stuff with your fingers and start pulling gently, or not gently, too gently, but pulling till it starts coming out. Get hold of it. Okay, there's the heart. I'll just get everything out first. This lead right here, I don't know if you can see it, but there was the heart. This is the esophagus connected to the thing for the gizzard. I'm going to take a knife and just cut that loose. Now here's the heart. I'll go ahead and cut it off, including the aorta this time. You don't have to cut that off, but there's the heart. We'll put that in the giblet pile. Now everything else is kind of loose. I'm just kind of working it out so it's all outside the bird here. And I see the bowel's got some stool in it, so I want to be kind of careful. If I cut that, it'll poop all over the insides. So hold it up. I'm going to take this skin and not cut my finger if I can, and cut down and loosen the vent. So there's a little gland right there on that side of the vent. You want to get that out. So you cut around it without trying to cut into it. Cut that side and then this side. Joel Salatin says some people get real aggressive and cut way too much of this part out because they want to avoid the bladder so badly, or the bowel stuff so badly. But he says it's got a lot of good flavor stuff in it, so it's like part of your food. All right, so now all of the viscera is separated. Here's the liver. See there, and there's a lobe over there. And this is the gizzard. You see that? I've already taken the heart out, so can't find it. There's a little piece of lung right there that connects to the liver. Okay, I'm going to take the liver and separate it from all the other organs. It's got little connective tissue called mezzanine, and the mezzanine has vessels in it. Got to be real careful not to cut that gallbladder, so I'll watch out for that. Anyway, so I get the liver separated here. It's kind of coming loose. Okay, and maybe just take it all the way off of the gallbladder this way without cutting the gallbladder. Okay, so there's the liver. This is some connective tissue I'll take off. Throw that away. Now, this little guy right here, if you break that, it's got soap in it almost. It's got stuff that just kind of tastes bad. So they say you can pinch it off or you can cut it off. If you cut it off, it's liable to leak. So I'm just going to grab it and try to pull it apart away from it. It's got lots of connective stuff. There's the gallbladder, and there's the liver. The liver goes in the viscera pile. Now, what I like to do is just take the whole thing and hold it by the gizzard and just cut some of this stuff off until I get down to the connection where it's connected with the gizzard, and I'm just going to cut that off. All right, now this is the part from the esophagus going into the gizzard, and it'll have some rocks and who knows what all in it that the birds have eaten. So I'll cut that off. Okay, there's a little rock. No, it's not a rock. I don't know what that is. Okay. Then this is a gizzard, front and back. Either side, but cut across the white between thing, and when you cut, it'll open up. There we go. This is the inside of the gizzard. Now let me open this thing up, and I'm going to invert it all the way. I'm eating grass, and there's little seeds and a little bit of gravel here and there.
And the feed.
And the feed, that's right, some feed. Now I'll take this, I'll find the hole in it right there, and I'm going to put my finger, the thumb and finger on that hole.
Because we have a high pressure water
We have a
system.
we have a pressure washer here. Now we'll clean that baby up.
And this is what we're going to do differently, right? You want to
Yeah, this will be totally different next year. Next year we're going to get a super high pressure washer. No, actually we're going to make it real nice and easy for Jenny because it blows these things right out of your hands.
So Jenny, you love it like this.
Well, for me too, to make it easier. All right, nice. I'm going to take some of that loose here. Okay, there's a gizzard. And we'll throw that in here with the other giblets. Now that we've done that, shoo-wee, the sun's come out and the bugs have come out. We're going to take right between the shoulders, even a little higher you can, save some meat. I'm going to cut a little cut, just about that big. And now I'm going to bring these scissors in here and go back to right at the shoulder level. See that? All right. Push it in just a little bit. And there's the neck. And I'm going to take this scissors and cut that neck bone. So I'm disconnecting the neck from inside. Now, I'll take this knife and go to the outside of the neck and slide it up to that cut and open it up. So now I've got the whole neck exposed. I'm going to grab this part of the neck and pull. Let's see if I can get some viscera with it. Now I see the craw is on this side. So kind of gently take this stuff this way. Thank you, honey. Appreciate that. And so now, here's the neck separated. You're going to back up just a little bit so you can see. neck separated from the craw. I'm going to pull that craw all the way out if I can without tearing too much skin. There's little connective things here and there. Just go ahead and nick them as you need to. Little tendons and whatnot. An array of connective tissue. Now, I can see this is the craw, this part right here. This is the esophagus. This one right here is the esophagus. Go ahead and pull it through. Okay, and then this is the windpipe, trachea, whatever you call it. And I'm going to pull that all the way out. Okay, now go ahead and get the rest of the craw out. Take a little long on this. Okay, now the neck. You got to take all this stuff off the neck. It's got a lot of muscle in it for soup if you want to make a soup out of it, or bone broth or something like that. But you want to get all this viscera off if you can. So, here we go. All right, we're down to this. Okay, there's the neck. There's the stuff connected to it in the file in the viscera box. Okay, now we take this skin that was left over, cut that. Alrighty, now I got to get the lungs out. I don't know if you can see in there or not, but
Not really. Can you hold it up to
Probably
the
not.
sunshine?
okay.
Maybe.
You see?
It's pink. Okay.
All right, get the lungs out. Go use your 2 fingers and just kind of scrape inside the wall at the top of the cavity. And the first lung I get, come out there. It's coming apart actually. But that's part of the lung. Okay, and then the other side, I must have gotten part of it when I pulled the other section out. Okay, here we go. Okay, there's another lung right there. Okay, look inside. Back it up just a little bit. Okay, now we'll take the hose and I'll go from the neck. You'll see this. I'm going to lift this skin up, and there's a hole that goes all the way through the cavity into the breast cavity. I'm going to put this hose right through that hole between the breasts. That was a little small.
Don't worry about that.
That didn't go so well.
No, don't worry about that one. Just do it, clean it up from the other side.
Okay, I'll just squirt it from inside. Gotta hold on tight because this thing will fly off and go crazy. Good tight grip. I'll peel the bird off on the inside.
You're tearing the side a lot more, it seems. You're tearing that side all the way back to the leg.